the one that he has typed in. But looks like spawns are good, so I'm going to start off again in the top left corner of the map on potentially the last map of the day. Can he end it all and win it for Complexity, guys? It's the Red Zerg Gosu user.
And its opponent spawning again in the bottom right-hand corner as the Orange Terran. It is Mike Hunt.
Clever use of the pause, sir.
That's true. That was great pause, micro. I was worried somebody was going to unpause in the middle of it, but it let my bunker finish. I learned that from, what's his name?
Yeah, that guy. I know who you're talking about.
That guy, yeah, that guy. Rats stay rats. Everybody,
One thing I want to point out here for Ghost User, guys, this has been actually getting particularly harped on by Artosis lately, but getting that 9 Overlord instead of 10 and waiting is such a huge advantage. It doesn't seem like a lot, but I mean, this is just the way you gotta do it, and I think, for whatever reason, for 2 years, Zerg just went straight to 10 and then Overlord, and only recently someone finally realized, oh, there's a better way to go about that.
I think that it's, yeah, I think with the math on it that ended up being done was that it was basically that 10 was definitely the worst, and that Extractor was very slightly worse than 9.
No, Senex.
Extractor trick.
First the worst, second the best, alright? So 10 can't be the worst. We've all been through elementary school, we know those lines.
Yep.
And, ooh, Michael setting up to, okay, he's doing a, I was gonna say, is he gonna double racks on 14 for some reason, but no, just taking a weird command center, not doing on location, but this is a little bit safer. However, not going for that barracks first does leave you a little exposed early on. And it's so
really
easy.
Exposed considering the Gosu user, I mean, he right now has his gas currently going, he's building his spawning pool, and hasn't made any move to attempt to expand, so I'm kind of worried for Michael right here.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna matter whether he catches him off guard or not. Now, this actually, fortunately, he is building on the high ground, so he's not going to be completely caught off guard by any means, and he's double raxing instead of gas behind this. So any sort of Zergling aggression will not be that big of a deal, especially if he can get a bunker down in time. Put a nice little bunker nestled in here. You got your command center over here. No problem.
And we do also see Ghost User pulling out of the Extractor. I thought that he was going to be going for just a straight-up Baneling bust, going to be 100% all-in, but instead just wants to get the really good map control early on, and that actually means this opening went very slightly in Michael's favor, as he is going to have his expand done basically when his opponent's is starting.
And for anyone curious why Ghost User's beelining to the bottom right of the map despite not checking it, this is horizontal spawns disabled, and after realizing he was not in the lower left location, there's only one place he could be. And oh, that depot's down. Senex, if he gets caught off guard by this is actually going to be devastatingly bad.
Well, there is one Marine who's just about to spawn
but
out, but might immediately be surrounded.
And no, the depot's left down!
The depot's left down, and these two Zerglings are just standing
on
it.
Oh, and look at the SUVs that are
that
forced to pull. I mean, this is the right response. You can't leave the Zerglings unattended, especially with the miscontrol of that Marine, but
that's just so many SCVs pulled off. That's literally his entire worker line.
Yeah, only mules right now are mining, and this is causing so much economic damage to Mike right now. I mean,
just look at right now. Look at Mike's money. It's not moving except when the mule gets to go and do something.
And he picks off the Marine. And if this depot goes down, the SCVs need to repair this. If this depot goes down, this will be a quick end to a very long series between SCA and Complexity.
Yeah, so finally Mike is starting to stabilize, but
no,
more SCVs taking some fire. None of them actually going down, though. Good control there.
There has been way too much time spent off Mineral Line. Now, he does have the second command center, and the Mule will help bridge that gap. But Ghost User also dumped more larvae into Zerglings than he did drones, so he's not that far. In fact, he's not even ahead on workers right now.
Yeah, unfortunately, his macro slipping just a bit there, going up to 600, almost 700 minerals, and also supply blocked for a while. They're only just now able to spend all of that money, but, I mean, at least he has all of that money. With the larva mechanic, he will be able to dump all of that into workers, and is going to be feeling very comfortable. Also, all of these Zerglings hanging out, preventing his opponent from taking the fast expand that he wanted.
Yeah, I mean, this is well played by Ghost User, but he doesn't want to over-dedicate to it, and yeah, that's why he is just going to run off and go home. And with that bunker coming down, where I called earlier, this is a beautiful position. You know, cuts off a lot of surface area for these Zerglings to even get in there and do damage. Now the
Hmm.
question is, what's Ghost User going to do in response to this? Will he go for a third? Will he just macro up, or are we going to see some sort of roach aggression? Because we don't have mech on the way, and Marines, while good, are not so good when there's a lot of Zerglings and Roaches in the mid game.
Well, right now the double evolution chambers are going down, definitely indicative of a more end game play. Also, this one drone moving out towards the third,
Oh
really
wow!
indicative of deciding to go for that.
And a
And
third for
because of
command
the
center.
economic damage, actually, I feel like the third command center is really only the only play out of this for Mike, just because it's 43 workers to 29 SCVs. And without going for some kind of risky play, either a
And
very
only
fast
just
third or a
now,
big attack, not going to work for him.
and only just now landing the command center. So I mean, he's finally got this natural up and running. But again, he spent so much time playing Ring Around the Rosie in his base with those Zerglings. It really put him behind.
Hmm.
And Tech Lab coming. So Stim. Oh no, Combat Shields first. This is interesting because Stim is typically a more defensive tech upgrade. Combat Shields kind of indicates you want to go on the offensive. And with 3 barracks and a lot of Marines, he could definitely be in that position if he can hit the right timing for it. And oh wow, Ghost User actually even going for a fourth. Little bit risky if Michael decides to push.
It's actually really, really risky as all of these Marines are moving out. They at least want to make sure that that can't, well, though they did pull back for just a moment, no, deciding to commit to this. A bunch of Zerglings are being made right now. The 1-1 upgrades are on the way, but will not be done in time to help with this, so it will have to be on the backs of just those units to try to deal with it.
And I just got a Skype message. I do want to say, guys, the reason we're not pronouncing his name in full and just calling him Michael, if you want to figure that reason out, please just go ahead and say this name out loud to yourself real quick. But that's why we're not saying it on air. And
Yeah,
he
but
does pull home.
trollalala.
I'm not sure that I agree with this choice to pull home. I mean, there's certainly a lot of Zerglings. He's going to have the tech upgrade here in a moment, but those Marines could have been across the map and could have denied this fourth. Does he even have vision of it? He does have confirmed vision of it. So I'm a little unsure of what Michael's plans are.
I think that was actually a good decision from Mike, though, just because I don't believe he could have done any more than just cancel that base. And the number of Zerglings that got produced, all that he could have done there was to force a cancel and make his opponent lose 75 minerals in exchange for potentially losing
Oh
his
gosh,
entire
Senex,
army.
I need to cut you off. Look at the swarm of red coming in. The supply depots are down right now, all over the base. He might. Oh, he's focusing the rocks, not even paying attention. Ghost User, though, has a lot of Marines he has to deal with. Some little stutter step, but it might not be enough. We'll see. Does finally raise the depots, but not the front ones. We have supplies still funneling in. And oh gosh, Senex, that supply depot miscontrol cost him pretty dearly as he lost almost all of his Marines, but he is going to clean this up. Was forced to pull some SCVs. 8 killed.
Oh,
But, I mean, he got so many Marines in that. That was so... you can argue whether it was cost effective or not, but it caught Mike off guard, and that was what he wants to do.
I feel like with killing the 8 workers, that was definitely cost effective, as right now Ghosty's just been droning up behind it. He has 10 more drones currently in production, and his fourth is basically saturated. He's up to 81 drones already. And so he can pretty much do whatever he wants from here. His opponent is only at 68 supply, just now trying to take his third.
Yeah, a little bit risky move here. We do have a lot of barrack production. Oh my goodness, there's so many reactors going down on all of these barracks. We have... Once that starboard's out, I'd love to see him start doing some drops, because look at these bases. They're not very well defended. Really just mobile defenses. And while Ghost User, look at this, Senex, has a macro hatchery in his natural and his third. So his production is going to be sky high.
Yeah, he's basically just going all Zerglings all the time, and so far it's been working pretty well for him, though. I do definitely agree with you, though, that once the medevacs are out on the field, Ghost User is really going to need some other kind of answer for the big Marine blob.
But the catch is, too, I mean, Ghost User with this fourth base, I mean, he could probably, quite frankly, go for a fifth and a sixth right now and not be in too much trouble, because this is just a Marine army. Zerglings can morph into Banelings. They got the tech upgrades going on their advantage, going for 2-2 right now, whereas our Terran player only has 1 and +1 armor on the way. And these buildings aren't...
Even more...
Oh no.
Even more drones
That's
being
not
made.
even a wall off, Senex. Look here at the third. That's not a full wall off, so the Zerglings do get right into the mineral line. Marines trying to get in, but with that stim, they should be able to clean this up, saving most of those workers. So actually pretty effective. But unfortunately, the hole in the wall... Ugh, Mike. Not so good with his walls, not so good with the supply depots.
Yeah, I do think that Mike does want to do something about that. It is going really well for Ghost User, though, just keeping his opponent contained. And once again, only just now, the first two medevacs coming out, and they have a lot of work ahead of them trying to heal up all of these Marines. 40 more Zerglings in production, even. Also, the upgrades are really starting to go in Ghost User's favor. 2-2 well on its way.
And with the infestation pits started, once infestors are on the field, these Marines are not going to stand a chance.
The Banelings are being morphed as but he needs to be just so good about his splits, otherwise this is going to be devastating. In fact, it might not even matter. There's just so many Zerglings here.
Yeah, sorry about the little map control blitz there, guys. My mouse locked up, but look at this. He does have a good... Oh, he picks up the Marines as he sees the Banelings come in. Beautiful choice.
Only thing he could do, just because, like, once again, Mike is trying to make something happen with this mass bio style, but Zerg can really punish that. And look at this in the top right-hand corner.
This is Ghost User just being left untamed to do whatever he wants. He's got some beautiful creep spread just coming across the middle of the map. I mean, I don't know, Senex. Unless we see a good drop happen soon, or some sort of good push, our Orange Terran fellow may be out. We have Siege Tanks and Siege Tech on the way, though. No +1 upgrade. There we go, finally starting for those Siege Tanks. And it was my good, masterful friend, Bad Fat Panda, who told me all you need is that +1 upgrade on the Siege Tanks to one-shot those Zerglings.
Well, it interacts with the armor upgrade of the Zerglings, though, and that if the Zerglings have +1 armor, it doesn't one-shot them anymore. And so with the Zerglings already at +2, they're going to be doing pretty well against
I think
those Siege Tank shots. They deal 35 just base, and then like they go up to a bit higher. I think that you don't need more than, I don't know. We'll need
but
to see
the +1 upgrade for the Siege Tank translates to +3, I believe, in Siege mode. But
fair enough.
We'll see. I'm not sure. I believe, though, unless they change something, it should still one-shot them at any armor level, because I have seen that in the past. Oh, but Baneling's rolling in here. Not really necessary, I feel.
53 Baneling. I think at this
Look
point,
at the lower left.
Is just trolling, basically. I mean, like, he has all the bases that he wants.
He's playing with his food, exactly.
I really feel like this is him just punishing an opponent who went for this huge bio play and wasn't incredibly aggressive. When you go for a big bio play like this, you need to be like dropping in two places at once, pressuring your opponent's natural while like doing big marine splits. You need a ton of APM.
Oh, and look at the Zerglings.
This is what happens.
Some decent pre-splitting, but there's too many Zerglings and too many Banelings. And I mean, for the Swarm, oh my goodness. Yeah, this is going to be the end of our Terran player. Trying to get that Siege Tank out. He does have some at home, and the wall will assist him, but to what end? Is there's just too many Banelings. Wow, actually on purpose detonating all of those. I'm sure that was just Ghost User saying, you know what? Take a look at this. Look what I can do. It's 128 Zerglings on the way, and there's no way that that wasn't on purpose.
Yeah,
we have so many Banelings still left too. Yeah, look at this. They're gonna connect. The tanks aren't even sieged right now, Senex.
Yeah, it looks like those 128 Zerglings aren't even needed. Though the splitting is pretty decent.
But I mean, that was just the contingency of what was left before. We have 128. Look at these Banelings morphing in. A 41 on the way, 57 Zerglings on the field, and with every base on the map, I'm pretty sure Ghost User's feeling good.
I do think he needs to be a little bit careful, though, just because he has been throwing away massive amounts of money in order to do this, and it's working pretty well for him, but right now, his opponent is at 170 supply to Ghost User's 200. If the Siege Tanks start right-clicking on this big
Oh no, look at this.
We'll go all
but
right.
There's no Siege Tanks, Senex, that's the problem. Only 2 of them remaining in the back. And yeah, 38 damage on a 1 upgraded Siege Tank. So we have that question, that myth busted.
Yep.
But look at this. Oh, the Marines. Again, Marines are cheap enough to produce, but I mean, he's just losing them so greenly. And I can only say greenly because that's all Ghost User usually do. He's turning the map into green with all these Baneling hits. Zergling's kind of flooding in now, and again, this is every base on the map to the, I guess, 3 of Michael Hunt. And there's too many medevacs too. Look at the count right now, Senex.
Yeah, nice, solid
12?
number of medevacs. Is 12 currently.
You don't
Everybody
want
has their
that
own
many.
individual healer.
If there was infestors, that would actually be an effective use of medevacs, but because it's Banelings and Zerglings, this is just wasted supply.
Yep.
Command Center boldly trying to take the 4th base location. I commend our Terran player in trying to do so, but look at the SCVs. The Banelings don't even need to connect. The Zerglings take them out so quickly.
The perfect anti-timing right there. All of these... I mean, I really feel like Mike had many opportunities to try to handle this. He just needed to have his tank sieged because this mass Baneling style really isn't the best way to go about Zerg versus Terra. That's why it's a kind of trolling style. And so I
GG.
feel like he could have come back, but not when his tanks are always unsieged.